I have here with me the president of the FMSCI, probably you could say the daddy of motorsport in this country, Mr. Vicky Chandok. It's a pleasure to have you with us on Prudent Media.
My pleasure.
Uh, First of all, the Polo Cup, a great venture for young boys to come and showcase their talent and then get sent out after they perform well.
Certainly is. I mean, hats off. We have worked really hard at stabilizing the National Racing Championship over the years. It's now the 13th year the JK Tyre National Racing Championship has been running. We at the Madras Motorsports Club have organized it in partnership with our sponsors, and it's great. It shows that once you make a plan and you make a firm plan on all rungs of the ladder, Junior Cup, Formula Suzuki, then you get to the roll-on. When we did away with the roll-on, then arrived the Polo Cup. VW have done a tremendous job. Okay, without the manufacturers all these years, vehicle manufacturers, there was something missing. Okay, it's fantastic to see that the Polo Cup arrived into India. It's given a chance for kids like Ashwin Sundar, Sailesh Bolisetti, Aditya Patel, and now, as you know, Adimbar Hede, he was out there in China as well. And it's given the boys a great incentive to work. It's being done properly. They're going out for training camps. The whole setup is so professional. So we are just hoping now and working on more manufacturers coming in.
Speaking about manufacturers and teams, there are a very few Indian-owned teams, and one name that springs to mind is Red Rooster Racing. I'd like to take this opportunity to ask you. Red Rooster Racing formed pretty well by Dinesh Reddy a few years back, very professional setup, but then financial reasons cites them to shut shop. What can be done to sort of back such companies, back such private-owned companies to do in racing?
When a private-owned company is formed, okay, essentially it is there to make it work commercially. So if it did not work commercially and they had to shut shop, okay, it is really that they perhaps got their commercials wrong. All right, they may have planned that sponsors would have come on board. They may have done things. I mean, there are lots of teams running. Okay, it's not just Red Rooster running. We, for once, at my own team, Wallace Sports has been in running for years. We have Rams Racing, you have Miko Sports, you have Rad Racing, you have Mars. You have Prime Racing. There are lots of racing teams. Each one has a different avenue or different revenue model or different way of functioning. All right. I started the team only purely to start the team concept. We had only individual racing going on, and at that point of time, I had a long chat with our sponsors, and we said, look, let's try and create a team rivalry so that the teams might go out, bring in sponsors to the team, thereby make drivers earn. Okay, become earning members and earn a living out of the sport rather than them seeking sponsorship all the time. Okay, I took my own example, I took Karun's example, took Naren's example, where the kids have had to search for sponsors all their lives. So that's how the team concept started, and to work, once the teams get established, let them go and find the money and work it as a business like Red Rooster wanted to. All right, so we are not far off. Many teams have got backing from various sponsors, but that should be the concept of a team, is that the team owners or the team principals should go out and find the money to run the team and pay drivers to come and drive.
Do you feel it's happening currently? As you're saying, there are many teams, as you were just listing quite a few. Do you feel that teams are becoming financially stable and drivers are making a living out of racing today in India on a large scale, or it's still a niche?
Not on a large scale, okay, on a very small scale, but at least the process has started. Okay, so I firmly believe that you've got to learn to walk before you run. I mean, everyone thinks you can become a Formula One driver in 2 years. You can't. Okay, so it takes time, but I think we planned everything right, and it's going about the way we planned it.
Speaking about racers and speaking about an Indian in a Formula One car or maybe an Indian on a MotoGP bike, we've had a very long list of racers in India. Even an Indian has taken part in the Isle of Man. Then we've even seen Aspi Batena also go to the Isle of Man. Tons of talent, I mean loads of talent in this country, but we've never managed to make a mark on the penultimate, on the main rung of motorsport on the world scene. Why has this been so?
I think that there has been a total lack of infrastructure in our country. We don't have any infrastructure yet that meets world-class standards. Okay, we have very good club level racing. Okay, like for example, the circuit here in Madras was built as a club circuit, was built okay as a national circuit, and to that end, it serves its purpose. Okay, as a circuit where international events run regularly to give people international level exposure, the answer is no. With the coming up of the BIC now in Noida by the JP Group, that's going to change. Okay, that's going to change tremendously. Suddenly, you have an infrastructure that's the most modern in the world. You have the owners who have never been motorsport people, so they're going to enjoy everything new that comes to their track. So I think all in all, we are poised for a huge jump in racing, be it two-wheelers or four-wheelers, because the circuit in Noida, the BIC, is going to be certified not just by the FIA but by the FIM as well.
The Indian Formula One race that we are going to be having soon in a couple of weeks' time. It was scheduled to happen in India a very long time back. It was linked to Hyderabad. There was a track link to Mumbai, but I think there has been quite a long wait for FMSCI to have their own full-fledged track. Hasn't it been quite a long journey?
Well, to be honest, there was nothing scheduled earlier, all right? And to just be absolutely clear, it's not really an FMSCI track, it's the private track of the JPSI group, all right? It's owned, organized, everything and promoted by the JPSI group. The role of the FMSCI is to ensure that safety norms are in order, to liaise with the FIA, and to just make sure that we are the governing body, that it runs to international regulations. Okay, but yes, it started off not just with Hyderabad. It even goes previous to that. It started off from Calcutta in the old days, then moved to Hyderabad. Then there was rumors of it coming up in Madras, rumors of it coming up in Bangalore. But yes, it's taken 15 years to finally become a reality. Okay, and for people like me, if you ask me in early 90s, will Formula One come to India? I would say, well, maybe I'll dream it, but today it's become reality. So I think personally, we are a family that's been in the sport. My father was one of the founder members of the Federation of Motorsports Clubs of India and the Madras Motorsports Club. The entire team at the Madras Motorsports Club have been so passionate about the sport, and they in fact are forming the backbone of organizing the support races at the Formula One race in India.
The trials and tribulations, I would say that the track in India or the Indian fans wanting a F1 race did not just start and end over there after the track got ready. Very recently, the excise or the customs department put a say that the teams will have to put in quite a big sum of money, and then 2% will be kept back by them. It seems like these problems were never ending for Formula One to come to India.
Well, the thing is that our government hasn't been used to organizing something on this scale, all right, whereas everyone else has. But let's face it, we have all along been saying we are the greatest country. Technologically, we are the most advancing nation in the world. We are saying that we are no longer a developing nation, we are developed. All right? 18 other countries in the world managed to run Formula One to precision, run it seamlessly. It's up to us. We've been given a platform to showcase India. Forget the fact it's a private enterprise. We've been given an opportunity, a platform to showcase India to 527 million viewers worldwide. If we don't use it, it'll be a shame. Okay? It's up to us. We need the will, not just from, we need the will from all stakeholders, whether it's the government, whether it's the competitors, whether it's the volunteers, whether it's the organizers, whether it's the owners, everybody. And, look at people when they talk about Abu Dhabi. Formula One, look at what it did to Abu Dhabi, projected Abu Dhabi. Look at Bahrain, look at Monaco, look at KL, Malaysia. They've all used the platform of Formula One to project themselves. So let's do the same.
Goa was being looked at as a venue to have a racetrack. Currently, now with the GSIDC stands, it was being looked at, even I think under your watchful eye, that tracks should come up, like maybe the MMRC track over here, or maybe even a bigger track than that, that could stage international races. What were the talks like that you were having with the Goa government, and what was the progress of those talks?
We had no official dialogues with Goa. Okay, there were quite a few, let's say, unofficial or proposals that came across, which is fine. That somebody did have access to 500 acres of land and things like that. We are more than happy to help. Okay, if somebody's got the land, needs help in putting together a circuit, we are here to do it. Okay, we will extend ourselves. We will help out as much as possible to make it happen. So if and what a location! I love Goa, and if anybody says let's have a racetrack in Goa, I'll be more than happy to literally go out on a limb, bend over backwards literally, and make it happen.
Because Goa can be quite like a Monaco, can't it? Because you can have a lot of road races staged there, because roads are already quite good. I mean, by just bettering them even more, you can have it can do good for tourism, not only for Goa but for India.
It certainly can. Again, it needs the will. Okay, it needs the will of the Goa government or a promoter or an organizer in Goa who can put together a track and let's go. So simple. Till then, we wait.
So the offer is wide open. FMSCI will totally back a body or an entity who is ready to put up a track in Goa.
FMSCI will be more than happy to back an entity who's willing to put up a track in Goa.
What about your son? Karun has continued holding the flag high of the Chandok family, gone to the F1, represented there, but he's had a little patchy career. What do you tell him at home?
Nothing. I mean, Karun is, it's not easy being in Formula One. Just remember that there are only 24 drivers who race in Formula One, probably another 8 or 10 other reserve drivers. So you are fighting for a seat amongst the 30 best drivers in the world. Just to be one amongst them itself is a privilege. Coming from India is a huge handicap. You've never had the backing or the infrastructure that existed. You still are struggling with sponsors coming out of India. But now with the announcement of the new Sahara coming in as well, I think it may make things better because corporates are now understanding the value of Formula One. So Karun, I think, in my opinion, has done exceedingly well in his career. At home, it's, let's say, a lot of motorsport talk, but I'm not one of those who pushes him to perform. He's pretty much a hard taskmaster at himself. He pretty much, decides on what's best for him. He's got a lot of friends and consultants and people that he can speak to, advisors. The good thing is he can walk around the F1 paddock and literally talk to anybody. So, should be good.
Karan actually has some reporter skills because he can go up and talk to anybody. So he's quite the reporter himself.
Well, as you and I are speaking now, to be honest, this is the first time he's now anchoring today the BBC commentary for the Korean Grand Prix today going live.
Oh, lovely. So he's stepped into the shoes of this side of the job.
Yeah.